Hi, welcome to the show. In today's episode, we talk about types of testing. There are more than 100 types of testing, but we will focus on a very particular which are real close to the software development. So, testing at a very high level has three basic types: so functional, non-functional, and maintenance. Functional testing, we check the functionality of a system if it is behaving according to our expectation. Can user book a flight? Can user cancel a flight? These could be the example. Whereas non-functional testing is testing the aspect of the software. These are basically the architectural aspect of the software. We can say the abilities of the software, where we check the performance, usability, reliability, security, and compatibility. So how many people can simultaneously book a flight? So here we are talking about how the system can scale, how the system can handle the load, the parallel usage of the system. So maintenance testing, perform testing after the release, corrective and emergency changes, for changes of the operational environment and the patches for the defects and vulnerabilities. We perform such testing when new features to the existing software are introduced or platform is migrated. So maybe you are migrating from one cloud provider like Amazon to Azure or Google Cloud, or if you are changing the operating system, it could be the version, it could be the distribution, if you are changing the database. So regular updates to keep the software up to date. So this is basically when you are performing regular updates, you have to perform the maintenance testing. It has two subtype: confirmation testing the modified functionality, regression testing the existing functionality. So that's how it is classified. So if we look at the functional testing, so functional is subdivided into gray box, black box, and white box testing. In black box, the internal structure of the code is not known, implementation details are not known at all. So we just test the functionality at a high level or by not knowing the internal structure. So can user book a flight? So this is the example. Whereas the white box testing, we evaluate the code and the internal structure of the program. White box is also called open box, glass box, structural testing, clear box testing, or transparent box testing, where we know the internal structure of the code. So then we plan our testing accordingly because we know in more detail. So an example could be on create booking is count increased in the in-memory database and a record is inserted in the RDBMS. So such verification, such type of testing against one functionality where we know the code, so we understand the context. That's why we are testing accordingly. Another example could be if current count of reservation is equal to the flight capacity, then throw exception. So if we are going to book another seat, so if it will check like if the capacity is already full or not, or based on that will throw the exception. So here in all these two examples, we can see we knew the context, so based on that context we planned our testing. So gray box testing is basically the combination of black box and white box. So in black box we are testing as a user where the internal structure is known, and in the white box testing we test as developer and we have full knowledge of internal structure. So in the gray box testing we are testing as a user with access to internal. So we have the access to internal information that is relevant to testing. So we do not know everything, but we know only those parts which are most relevant to our testing cases. So in gray box, internal structure of the application is partially known. It is the combined aspect of black box and white box testing. Combines the input of developers as well as tester and improves overall product quality. It's the ability to test both sides of application, presentation layer as well as the code part. It is primarily useful in integration testing and penetration testing. So gray box testing has further types, which is matrix, pattern, orthogonal array, and regression. So matrix testing is basically examining all the variables in an application. Each variable is assessed according to the risk it presents. You can use this technique to identify unused or unoptimized variables. So pattern testing is another type of gray box testing to evaluate past defect to identify patterns that lead to defects. These evaluation can highlight which detail contributed to defects, how the defects were found, and how affected fixes were. You can then apply this information to identify and prevent similar defects in new version of an application or new application with similar structure. So it's all about having the memory which help us to identify the bugs and the patterns. Orthogonal array testing is the another type of gray box testing used when your application has only a few inputs and that are too complex or large or for extensive testing. This technique enables you to perform test case optimization where the quality and number of tests performed balance test coverage with effort. This technique is systematic and uses statistics to test peer-based interaction, provide maximum coverage with minimum test cases. So it's about the planning. It's how we smartly plan. We run minimum test or the types of tests to have maximum coverage over the application. So that's it for this episode. See you in the next episode. We will talk about the types of black box testing. Thank you. Bye.